All right, that was it. I saw the event. I parsed through a lot of stuff. I saw all of the new Apple Watches. The Apple Watch Ultra is definitely very interesting. There's also the AirPods Pro. I was surprised at how great they are. But for me, the big thing from this Apple event was the iPhone 14 series, the iPhone 14 Pro in particular. And from my perspective, one of the most interesting things about the Pro is the new dynamic island. I know that there was leaks about this leading up to the event, and I don't think I really fully comprehended what the dynamic island is. So I kind of see like the DNA of the touch bar in there a little bit. It feels like the touch bar because it changes and alters based on what app is opened at any given time. I'm kind of interested to see how third-party developers end up taking advantage of it. There's definitely something very cool there that I haven't seen other smartphone manufacturers mess around with before, and I'm really interested to see how it pans out for Apple. There's also other upgrades worth mentioning. I mean, like the design of the phone looks the same, so I won't really get into that. But it is worth citing that in the US, there's not going to be a SIM card slot. But in Canada, we're still going to have the SIM card slot. US is totally going eSIM. Here, things are a little bit different. The other notable upgrades are the new A16 chip. This is the only iPhone that's getting the A16. iPhone 14 and the iPhone 14 Plus, the new big boy that's coming out, those are only getting the A15. So this is one of the first years where we're seeing a power difference between the two phones, and it's not something that we've seen in the past with Apple's lineup. The other big upgrade this year is 2000 nits of brightness. It's actually a huge jump, 2 times according to Apple. Of course, there's also the expected camera upgrades. That's something that we've seen Apple do pretty much every year. This year, there's a new 48 megapixel sensor. There's pixel binning. It's still gonna shoot at 12 megapixels for the most part. Super complicated. I haven't totally wrapped my head around it. The photos shown off on the show floor looked great. Super crowded, sweaty show floor, but the images still look great. It's another one of those things where like I really need to sit down and test out the camera myself, and we'll have full reviews on MobileSyrup in the coming weeks. But at the outset, I do buy that this new sensor is going to improve low light performance. I just need to really try it out for myself. There's other new features too that I think are really important to mention. One is obviously the satellite connectivity feature. That's coming to Canada, which isn't something we've seen happen a lot with new smartphone like features that have to do with carriers, connectivity, that sort of thing. We're usually one of the last countries to get it. To be clear, there's a little bit of confusion online about how the feature is going to work. It's really just for emergency use cases. It's not this sort of like you can message or have internet connectivity or make phone calls from anywhere when you don't have cellular coverage. It's really for emergency use cases, but it's still cool and it's something we haven't seen other smartphone manufacturers mess around with. I mentioned it before, I kind of alluded to the iPhone 14 and the iPhone 14 Plus. Apple has a new device this year. The Mini is gone. I know that the iPhone 13 Mini is still being sold. I don't think that's gonna be around for much longer, but the Plus, the new very big boy, that's the new device this year on the entry-level iPhone side of things. I held it very briefly. It's quite large, but it's kind of makes sense to me to an extent because I think Apple has marketing data that shows that the Mini just truly didn't sell and people want bigger phones. So it makes sense that they released a larger entry-level model. But back to the iPhone 14 Pro series, I was really impressed with what I saw, and I really think that the dynamic island could be a game changer. I watched all kinds of unique interactions, like with photos and notifications and like ride-sharing apps. I see a lot of potential there, and I'm interested in testing it out for myself. I'll have a full review of the iPhone 14 Pro on MobileSyrup at some point in the next couple of days. Thanks a lot for watching this video, and make sure to press all of the YouTube buttons that you need to press, like subscribing and liking and all that stuff. Please support our channel so that we can keep making content like this, and we'll have more iPhone stuff and Apple stuff coming in the future.